of city workers, nonprofit workers, educators, even our allies in public safety and healthcare. Everybody's feeling the crunch for housing and for affordable living conditions in the city. As we move forward, we take stock of the victory we won in September. Through the hard work and dedication of many union workers, they fought and won landmark legislation. As Carl indicated, there was an amendment to the minimum compensation ordinance. But we need to be clear. This is setting the floor of wages. This is setting the very bottom, literally the minimum compensation. We know all too well that many service providers, whether they're shelters or the residential care or treatment facilities, they have brought their workers up even before the city mandated it under the statute or under the regs. Those workers are now feeling this crunch. And in July, when we applaud the city for raising that minimum to $16.50, we know there are workers that are just pennies above that minimum compensation ordinance, and they're going to feel the squeeze like no other. And that the same is true for workers at $18 and $20. Can anyone really afford to live in San Francisco even on $25 an hour? No. If you go to the MIT living wage calculator, single earners need at least $33 an hour just to make ends meet. But we know that working people need at least $34 an hour just to make ends meet. That's surviving, not even thriving in our communities. So I want to introduce you to one of these brave nonprofit workers. Naj Daniels, will you join me? Naj is a...
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Naj. As Rudy said, I work for Community Housing Partnership. I'm a desk clerk. I am also a proud member of SEIU 1021. I'm here today to let the city know and let our allies know that we've been in this fight together, that we've started together, and we will not let the city pit us against each other by not willing to compensate everyone across the board. We all deserve a living wage. We do the work, whether we're in a navigation center, whether we're at the front desk of a low-income housing, whether we're in the BART station bathrooms. We're doing this nonprofit work, and we're doing the work for the city, for the most vulnerable population. Without us, what would the city do? So we're asking not only to give us the floor, but to raise it for everyone that is affected, and not let this just be a beginning, not an end. This is only the beginning. We want a living wage. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Beautiful day today. I couldn't think of a better way to come out here and come together with you guys to help bring about wages. I used to also work at CAP as well. But we, the workers, are doing the biggest job in San Francisco, for San Francisco's biggest problem, and that's homelessness. Homelessness is one of the biggest problems San Francisco has. And we're the ones who's taking care of that, but at a low wage. So we need to raise our voices, get inside, and let them know that our hard work need not be overlooked. We need to let them know that the work we're doing is helping cleaning the streets of San Francisco. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is
Elisa Rendon.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for coming. My name is Elisa Rendon. I work for CATS, Medical Respite, and I also work for ECS. I just want to say that it's hard living in San Francisco, working 2 jobs. My husband works 2 jobs. We don't get to see each other. We don't get to see our kids. It's kind of real.
That's okay. That's real.
It's hard living here in San Francisco. Having 2 kids that are 13 and 5, they don't get to see me nor my husband, because we both have to work 2 jobs in order to live here in San Francisco. I'm almost on the homeless waiting list with my children, and I have to work 2 jobs to get anything that I need. My kids, they need medical benefits, dental benefits. We all need, whether you know, tomorrow my paycheck, I don't know if I have to, if I'm gonna be able to buy my son his birthday presents, or if I have to pay my electricity bill, my rent. Which one do I do? And that's all, just, we need living wages.
Does that sound familiar, like a chant we said in this city for 61 days against the Marriott? Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
One job. One job.
Your fight,
Our fight.
my fight, our fight.
Our fight.
It's not me joining, it's me being with you all this time. And I'm here today. I will not go away. I will be here tomorrow. I will be here until it gets done. This Dream and Promise Act, dream, promise, let's make it a reality. I have to say, we keep on repeating history in this country. Most of you, a lot of people know that we're celebrating the 150th anniversary of the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad. And half of that railroad from this side of the Pacific Ocean to Utah were built by not Americans, but by Chinese. Chinese that were recruited to come to this country to work and build this country. And you know what the reward was? A few years after the completion, the United States decided, hey, we use you, we chew you up, now get the hell out of my country. We're gonna exclude you from ever becoming a citizen in the United States. That was for over 50 years that happened. Do we want that again? No! Hell no! We want justice. We want people that are working, contributing to not only our economy, our family, the welfare of the city. We want you here. We need to send a message. Make this a reality. Thank you very much.
What kind of power? People's power! Thank you. Continue with our conversation here with our brothers and sisters behind me. I want to now introduce my friend Adobu Traore from the African Advocacy Network. Adobu.
Thank you, everybody. You've seen some GPS orders, and I'm pretty sure that, no need to say that these are human beings. We're not talking here about chips on a casino table. We're talking about human lives. And it's a very serious matter. Now the question which comes is, how long does it take a human being living in a given society to become a recognized member of that society?
Yeah.
How much does a human being need to do in order to be accepted as a contributing member of that society? This is what it's all about. But I would like to call out to everybody and they say, TPS, DACA, DD have no color. We're all human beings from all kinds of races, from all continents, and with the same dream, being members of the American society. This is what it's all about. We may not all of us have, a relative who was the president of the Republic or the president of the United States to get our documents within a few days. Yet, we in America, we are your neighbors, we are your co-workers, we are your friends, and we are your relatives. And this is what it is all about. DED. Our brothers and sisters from Liberia have been in the United States since 1991. And yet, every year they live in fear because they've been asking them to go back home after a bloody civil war where most of them lost all their family members. What do you want them to go back to? Their life is here. America is home. We're not going anywhere. And again, temporary? Yeah, let's move from temporary to permanent. Permanent residency? Yeah, let's move from permanent residency to naturalization. This is all it's about. No more temporary status in the United States. And let's not forget that, the end of the battle is all these millions of so-called undocumented immigrants.
Their life is in America. They're not going anywhere. And I would like to call out to our community members, let's not give up on ourselves. We're not alone.
Supervisor
Hey all,
Sandra,
thank you for inviting me to speak today.
Sandra Fuhrer.
I don't know how many of these rallies I have attended ever since Trump was elected president, but it has been numerous, and it has been the same theme over and over and over again. And so today, I am just here to reiterate my support for for the Dream and Promise Act of now 2019, which is so overdue. But I also want to just say this, is that when we don't give these people permanent status, we are creating a permanent underclass of people. People whose lives are in limbo. People who are unable to engage fully in our society for all of our services because they are fearful. These people need a way to permanent status here in our country. They have lived here, many of them, for decades. I stand before you as a granddaughter of someone who came here on illegal papers because our immigration policies have a long, long history of being racist. And today, the Supervisor Yee and I are crafting a resolution for the Board of Supervisors to adopt in support of the Dream and Promise Act of 2019. And to reiterate once again our support for our immigrant population. We are a country of immigrants, and we don't see people as immigrants. We see them as our fellow workers, our neighbors, our friends, our lovers, in a lot of cases, our son-in-laws and daughter-in-laws. I just think this is ridiculous again that we are here again voicing our commitment. But in these times, it is so important that we stay strong and that we stay united and that we remind our elected officials on what the values that we stand for as San Franciscan, as Americans too. And so we will be presenting this resolution for adoption, and we hope this will pass by unanimous vote of the supervisors, once again reiterating their commitment. Thank you very much for standing strong and standing together.
Tracy Gallardo.
Muy buenas tardes, muchas gracias por invitarnos a estar aquí. Estamos aquí para apoyar a nuestra comunidad. Our office, District 10, we stand behind all of our young undocumented immigrants that were promised a chance to stay here in this country and receive a pathway to citizenship. We should not allow our country to go back on a word and a promise. These people have worked hard. Esos niños han trabajado bien duro, y son los sueños de los padres y de los pasados. These children are the dream of their families and their grandparents and generations of people who dreamed before them. It is these children, our dreamers, that will change the world. Son estos niños que van a cambiar este mundo. The children that we are currently housing, that we cage, shame on us. Those are our dreamers. Those are our future.
Thanks everybody for being here. So as Sister Rosa said before me, this is not just a social justice issue, not just an issue around individual immigrants. This is a worker issue. This is a working class issue. It's a union issue. It's an organized labor issue because so many of our sisters and brothers and siblings in the labor movement are immigrants. And that is why the AFL-CIO is strongly in support of the passage of H.R. 6. We want to see permanent residence status for all of our sisters and brothers. That's right. So it's estimated that passage of this initiative will help 9 million immigrants across the country. 3 million of them are here in California. We know them. We're here. You're here. And so it continues to be of utmost urgency to get this passed. Now, speaking as a teacher, speaking on behalf...
Soon after the election of Donald Trump, they called us the resistance. Whoever opposes Donald Trump is called the resistance. Well, let me tell you, we do so much more than oppose. We have a clear vision. They are the resistance. They resist facts. They resist science. They resist a future that is already here of a multi-ethnic America. We do so much more than resist. I had the privilege of accompanying a TPS delegation to Washington, D.C., a place that both Democrats and Republicans agree has become a dark network for special interest groups. Fossil fuel industry, the NRA, AIPAC. They buy our politicians. And for one day alone, workers, students, carpenters walked the hallways of Congress. The cancellation of DACA and TPS has led to this unprecedented civic mobilization. They are showing us the path forward during a time when our democracy is most broken. We are not the resistance, they are the resistance. We have a clear vision. This is our clear vision. How about if you have been in this country for 20 years, and if you have been paying taxes and abiding by laws, and if you have a retirement plan, and if you have put roots, and if you have American-born family here, then you get to stay. That's right. How about this? If you've defrauded the United States, evaded taxes, and if you're a lying piece of shit, even if you're the United States president, you go to jail. We are not the resistance. We are a future that is already here. Thank you.
Thank you. No justice. No justice.
Hello, my name is Chito Cuellar. I'm the Vice President of the Hotel and Restaurant Union, Local 2. Our union is engaged in the legislative process to get DACA and TPS to get permanent residency and with a path to the citizenship. So those are so often we have people from the hotels in San Francisco, they go to Washington and they do lobby actions along with other labor organizations. There's many labor organizations working on this in Washington. But we know that the biggest dream is two things. One is general amnesty. There is 12 million people in the United States who don't have papers. We want general amnesty for Salvadorians, Mexicans, Nicaraguans, and other areas in the world. We also have the fight for respect and dignity. So the Latinos, we are the biggest minority in the United States. That has made us target of the racism of the president. They are targeting us, they dehumanize us, they call us rapers, they call us murderers, they call us drug dealers, and all this to dehumanize our families. Our children, U.S. citizen children, first generation, second generation, third generation, they're being bullied in the schools now because their compañeritos, they see them as, you Mexicans go home. And they're not, they're from the United States. But this is what this president has done. We know that this is the beginning. For us to get amnesty for every single worker that doesn't have papers in the United States, for us to get respect and dignity, we're gonna have to do what the African Americans did in the 60s. We're gonna have to jam the jails in a disciplined way, in a consistent way, in an organized way. We have to start blocking the street and just getting our bodies into jail, and primarily by Latinos citizens and their allies. And this is how we're gonna get the attention of the people in power, because we have to continue voting, we have to continue fighting legislatively, but we have to start thinking in getting to the street, reaching out to the sisters and brothers, African Americans, and being humble enough and asking how do they did it, and learn from them, because this is about civil rights. They opened the door. Now what they got, and they fought for us. They fought for us. Now we need to maintain and expand that.
This is Mother's Month, basically. The mother of all war. Remember that? Who said that? Come on now. Chale, chale, chale con la guerra. Chale con la guerra y con el rap. If you fight it to repel invasion, digo para la Nicolastán. Digo para la Nicolastán. Well, you search that's insane for invading in Kuwait. So you've flown thousands of sorries, killing people in the land. Now should anything in topple, what you let them do remain? Was it worth the life of children? Will you please tell me who he said? Chale, chale, chale con la guerra. Everybody can say that. Chale con la guerra y con el rap. Chale, chale, chale con la guerra. Chale con la guerra y con el rap. First you say the Soviet threat justify the nuclear race. Now the threat begins to crumble. You know, single shot was fired. Can you spread on your assistance to Saddam against Iran? Pinochet was still in power. Is the way back in your mind? Chale, chale, chale con la guerra. Chale con la guerra y con el rap. If you fight to rebel invasion, think about it and we go to town. I just wanted to remind you and be all you can be. Not a slave camouflage, fighting other people. Chale, chale con la guerra, chale con la guerra y con el rap. If you fight to rebel invasion, think about it and we go down. Whoa, 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 whoa. The land of the fingerprint. Not one drop, all my blood from ocean waste. The land of the fingerprints. Not one drop, all my blood from ocean waste. Chale, chale con la guerra, chale con la guerra y con el rap. If you fight to rebel invasion, think about it and we go to stand. Think about it and we go to stand. Think about it and we go to stand.
Estaba un payo sentado en la punta de un corral y el mayordomo le dijo: no estés triste, Nicolás, ¿Quieres que no esté triste? Lo que vida me has de dar. Y el mayordomo le dijo, ve pidiendo mi sola. Necesito 30 reales porque me quiero casar. Y el mayordomo le dijo, ni un tengo ni sola. El payo desesperado al barranco se iba a echar. Y el mayordomo le dijo, de cabeza ni volar.